The luxurious cruise ship, the Ocean's Pearl, was embarking on its maiden voyage, promising an unforgettable journey across the vast expanse of the Atlantic Ocean. Lavishly decorated and equipped with every amenity imaginable, the ship was a floating paradise. Passengers from all walks of life had come aboard, eager to experience the wonders of the sea in ultimate comfort. Among the passengers were Jack, a travel blogger, and his girlfriend, Emily. They had been looking forward to this trip for months, excited to document their adventure and share it with their followers. The first few days were filled with sun-soaked relaxation, fine dining, and the discovery of hidden corners of the massive vessel. But as the ship sailed further into the deep waters, an unsettling aura began to creep in. It started with small, easily dismissed occurrences, an unexplained chill in the air, feeling of being watched, and whispers that seemed to emanate from nowhere. Jack and Emily brushed these off as mere figments of their imagination, result of overactive minds in an unfamiliar setting. One evening, as they strolled along the deck, they encountered an old sailor, his face weathered by years at sea. He seemed out of place among the affluent passengers, his eyes filled with a haunted knowledge. "Beware the unseen passenger," warned cryptically, before shuffling away, leaving them with a sense of unease. The next day, Jack decided to explore the ship's lower decks, hoping to uncover its hidden history. Emily chose to stay behind, lounging by the pool. Jack's curiosity led him to the ship's library, a dimly lit room filled with old maritime books and maps. As he browsed the shelves, he stumbled upon a dusty journal hidden behind a row of books. Its cover was worn, the pages yellowed with age. The journal belonged to Captain Robert Hale, the ship's original master. Jack flipped through the pages, reading about the captain's numerous voyages and the strange events that had plagued him. One entry caught his eye. "There is something aboard this ship, an entity that defies explanation. It is neither living nor dead, and it thrives in the shadows. Crew whispers of the unseen passenger, and I fear it may be more than just a sailor's tale." Jack's heart raced as he read on. The journal detailed mysterious disappearances and sightings of a ghostly figure that moved silently through the ship. Determined to learn more, Jack decided to investigate further, ignoring the growing sense of dread that gnawed at him. Meanwhile, Emily was becoming increasingly aware of the strange occurrences around her. She felt a cold presence watching her, and at night, she heard footsteps outside their cabin door. She shared her concerns with Jack, but he assured her it was all just part of the ship's charm. One night, unable to sleep, Emily wandered the ship, hoping to clear her mind. As she passed through the grand ballroom, she caught sight of a figure standing by the window. It was a man dressed in an old-fashioned naval uniform, his face obscured by shadows. When she approached, he vanished into thin air, leaving her shaken and confused. Desperate for answers, Jack and Emily sought out the ship's historian, a reserved woman named Margaret. She confirmed the existence of the unseen passenger legend, explaining that it dated back to the ship's construction. Some say the ship was built on cursed land. Others believe it was a vengeful spirit seeking retribution. Margaret explained, "Whatever it is, it has been with the ship since its inception." As the days passed, the occurrences grew more frequent and intense. Objects moved on their own, disembodied voices echoed through the halls, and the temperature dropped to an unnatural chill. Crew became increasingly alarmed, and whispers of the unseen passenger spread like wildfire. One evening, during a particularly violent storm, the ship's power failed, plunging it into darkness. Panic spread among the passengers as the ship was tossed by the raging sea. Jack and Emily clung to each other, a malevolent presence growing stronger around them. In the midst of the chaos, Jack remembered the journal. He believed it held the key to understanding and possibly banishing the entity. With Emily by his side, they navigated the darkened ship to the library. As they pored over the journal by flashlight, they found a passage detailing a ritual meant to appease the unseen passenger. According to Captain Hale, the ritual required a personal belonging of the entity, an offering of respect, and the recitation of a specific incantation. The captain had never completed the ritual, but he believed it was the only way to rid the ship of its spectral inhabitant. Determined to try, Jack and Emily set out to find the required item. They searched the ship's storage rooms and found an old naval cap that matched the uniform Emily had seen. They gathered candles and prepared an offering of food and wine, hoping it would be enough to satisfy the spirit. As they set up the ritual in the ballroom, the ship groaned and shuddered, the storm outside mirroring the turmoil within. The air grew colder, and the sense of a lurking presence intensified. Jack began the incantation, his voice trembling but resolute. Emily held the cap and the offering, her eyes scanning the room for any sign of the entity. Suddenly, the temperature dropped even further, and a ghostly figure materialized before them. It was the same man Emily had seen, his eyes filled with sorrow and anger. The room seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly energy as Jack continued the ritual, his words echoing through the hall. The figure moved closer, reaching out with a translucent hand. Emily stood her ground, holding out the cap and the offering. For a moment, time seemed to stand still. Then, with a soft sigh, the figure took the cap, placed it on his head, and accepted the offering. The oppressive atmosphere lifted slightly, and the figure began to fade. "Thank you," a whisper echoed through the room as the figure vanished completely. The storm outside began to subside, and the ship's power flickered back to life. Exhausted but relieved, Jack and Emily returned to their cabin, hoping the ritual had worked. The next morning, the ship's crew reported a calmness they hadn't felt in days. The strange occurrences had ceased, and the sense of dread had lifted. Jack and Emily shared their experience with Margaret, who was both astonished and grateful. They had truly appeased the unseen passenger, allowing it to find peace at last. As the Ocean's Pearl completed its voyage, the passengers and crew felt a renewed sense of comfort and safety. Jack documented their experience, sharing the tale with his followers, who were captivated by the chilling story. In the years that followed, the legend of the unseen passenger became part of the ship's lore, a tale told to entertain and intrigue new passengers. Jack and Emily continued their travels, but the memory of their encounter on the Ocean's Pearl remained with them, a reminder of the unseen forces that can shape our world. And though the ship sailed smoothly across the ocean, some still whispered of a faint, ghostly presence watching over the vessel, ensuring its passengers were safe from harm. The unseen passenger, it seemed, had found a new purpose in its eternal journey.